Now, another control LoRa is the depth map LoRa, which allows us to create images which resemble the sort of arrangement of objects in space. So we've got here the our queen, we've got a princess, and they're kind of like following the order that these women are in the original image. Now, what I've done with this one here is made it a little bit more obvious what's happening in terms of the flow, in terms of the workflow. So we've got our image here. This image is then moving to a scaler, and the scaler is just basically giving us a 1 megapixel image. We go to the Midas depth, we go out to the Midas depth map, which extracts the depth map. I think there's another depth map that we could also use, but this one here is using the Midas depth map. That gives us the depth map, and that is what's then used to control the sampler to produce this. So from here, we obviously want to go to the control net. So it's referred to as apply control net rather than apply control LoRa. And then we go to the sampler, and then we output to the image. Now the prompt I'm using here is queens and princesses in rich clothing, looking expectantly. Bright summer day, nearing sunset, the queen wears a crown, princesses wear tiaras. Red is the dominant color. What I'm going to do is to say red robes. So we'll give them some robes, red robes, and photorealistic detail. Okay, I like the image, but I want a little bit more detail, a little bit more rich clothing happening there. So you can see this sort of smooth skin. Let's see if we can work on that a little bit with that prompt. Now we're using Dream Shaper here, and we're using something called the depth LoRa depth rank 128. So that's the one, control LoRa depth rank 128. We could try the 256, but honestly I don't think we'll get a good result from what I've seen so far. So let's run this one, and whilst we're running this one of the things that you might want to consider, and it's going to be a little bit of a test for you, is there's actually a LoRa on Civet AI called Add More Details. It's by Lycon, who's the same guy who produces Dream Shaper. And it's a very small download, but that LoRa file should add more detail to an image. Now, if you were to download this and try to use it, wow, it's already completed. I'll say we haven't got that much more detail. I do prefer this one. I think the image looks better. But yeah, it's very quick. I mean, that's the thing. With a control net, you're waiting 15 minutes, 20 minutes easily to complete the thing. But it's done. It's very, very quick. One thing I noticed was that with this control net, it sort of ignored the girl in the background here and just turned her into a castle, which is fine. That looks good. And I actually tried several of these. So we had this one here, and then we had the previous one, which looks good as well. Then that was the one before that. Then there was a different prompt which was giving us an arrangement with some, I think it was just women in exotic makeup in the snow. And then I'm not sure what happened with this one. But then that was the original one with the women in the snow. So blonde women in the snow, exotic makeup. So the control, you should at this stage understand how the control LoRas work. They kind of use the image as a prompt, and the image itself is controlling the other image. Now, as I said before, the control nets, which really were dominant before this, they were very slow, and we haven't yet got more than about half a dozen control LoRas, but they run so much faster. I can see people who are using control nets just basically deciding, okay, maybe we don't want to use the control nets anymore because we haven't got an infinite amount of time. Now, the little test I want to set for you, if you have this LoRa for adding more detail, And if you do use that one, I would recommend just cranking down the amount for that LoRa, because it's very powerful. If you wanted to add more detail LoRa to this arrangement, how would you do it? So that's the little test for you. And I'll give you this guy here, and you might want to give it a try, see if you can actually get the add more detail LoRa working with this arrangement. It's a bit of a challenge. I won't give you the answer for that one. I'll let you figure that one out. So that's the depth map. The depth map is probably one of the more useful ones for getting really creative with control LoRas. We'll take a look at the next control LoRa, and that's going to be in the next lecture.